Know who's online due to the long absence, who isn't online. If there's anyone who has any questions from the brothers and the sisters online, then they can feel free by asking now. And if not, perhaps some of what you may have in a physical form within Allah Ta'ala. Fadl Adam. No questions online? Fadl.
What is some ways that any Muslim can increase in their ways of focusing?
Focus?
No, and physical, any other type.
Endurance.
Mentally and metaphysical.
طيب خير إن شاء الله. First and foremost is to realize that focus is a natural talent, a natural ability that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instilled and made in every single human being. Every human being has the ability to do it. Some are better than others. Some are naturally, have the knack more than others, but Allah gave it to every human being. As He has told us that He created man fi ahsani taqweem, in the best fashion, the best way, the straightest way possible, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Allah made the human being with all types of amazing powers and abilities. So some people, they think that there are certain skills or certain talents that are just for a few people, such as intelligence or physical strength or ability to go far. They think he's a special person, he's a special man, he's extraordinary, he's someone who's extraterrestrial. Shaykh Sam Taymiyyah he wasn't a human being, he was somebody beyond, and that's not necessarily what? True. As a wise man once said, there are no such thing as extraordinary men, but there are normal men in extraordinary situations who rise to the occasion. Everybody understand this? So the first point is to realize is that by Allah's permission, you can do it. You want to grow strong, you can be strong physically. You can be smart, you can be intelligent, you can read, you can study, you can have the talent. Some people are better than others, yes. Some people are stronger than others, more intelligent than others, have sharper focus than others. But every human being is qabil. He has the original ability, what? To do it. Everybody understand this? And all of this is included in the ayah. Allah says we created man in the what? Fi ahsani taqweem. Everybody understand this? Ahsani taqweem. In the best way possible. Allah tells us, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي Adam. Indeed, we have given the son of Adam ikram. We've made him noble. Allah mentions that He gave the son of Adam preference over many other things, many other types of creation. So that's first and foremost. Secondly, is asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow you to harvest that natural energy, that natural focus, that natural ability. Asking Allah Azza wa Jal to allow you to have the ability to do what? To focus. In a hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ, he told his Sahaba, he told his companions to aim for the target. He told the Sahaba what? To look for the mark. قُلْ أَمَنْتُ بِاللَّهِ ثُمَّ اسْتَقِمْ. Then be steadfast and upright, which obviously necessitates concentration and focus. It's time to what? Get my act together. My physical body can't do anything until my mind is what? Focused and concentrated. So you have to ask Allah for that. Ask Allah Azza wa Jalla for that. Thirdly, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, is practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. Okay? The first time you sit down and try to read a book, it may not be so easy. The first time you go to the gym, it may not be that what? That easy. Step by step, piece by piece. فَسَالَتْ أَوْدِيَةٌ بِقَدْرِهَا. Allah tells us that the valleys, they flow in their due measure. Not too much, not too what? Not too little. Not too high, not too low, as He said. Not too high and what? Not too low. Just what? Just right in the middle. Step by step, piece by piece, practice makes perfect. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then there's certain things that you can do physically, certain things you eat, certain things you drink, certain places that you go that allow you to have what? Focus. Whether it is tea. You think it's an accident why we always have what? Tea. We like tea. Tea tastes good, but there are also what? Many benefits in certain types of tea. When you drink the tea, how you prepare the tea. Everybody understand it's certain foods that give you natural brain power, give you more physical what? Stamina, strength, and endurance. The thing you're drinking, what's that? Let me see. What's this? It's called NOS. High performance energy drink. Not energy drink, but what? High performance. And then it says with CMP LX6 for enhanced mental focus. Allahu Akbar. I don't know if you guys set this up before I came, but I didn't know what it said on the can. It says not physical, but what? Like his question. It then says High performance energy. So many people, when they have these different things, these novelties, they think this is a new thing. They think, it's a modern day thing. It's a brainchild of science and technology, medicine mixing. These things are old. Certain things that people would eat, they would drink, that would give them longer periods of what? Stamina. Everybody understand this? And mental focus. If you study the origin of modern drugs and narcotics, you'll find way back in the day, the people, they use these things not as drugs, not to get high, but because they lived high in the mountains, the Andes Mountains. The air was extremely thin. So certain things that they would chew, certain things they would eat, that would give them the ability to deal with that environment or the heat. Certain teas that the people would drink. Everybody understand this? That would give them the ability to deal with the humidity, the mosquitoes, and things like this. When people went on certain missions, they would eat certain things in which I don't have a meal, I don't have no water for hours, for days. Everybody understand this? Whether it's honey, ginseng, green tea, whether it's this type of fish, whatever the case may be. The many different things that assist the body in having what? Stamina, focus, concentration, and just pure what? Sharpness. Last but not least is that if you want to learn how to fight, you should get into fights. Everybody understand this? You have to get into fights. You have to debate. You have to talk. You have to study. You have to deal with people who have mental what? Focus. See how they do it. See how they think. Humble yourself in front of them. Embarrass yourself in front of them. I thought I memorized this. This guy's quoting the whole thing. So it humbles you and it gives you more what? It gives you more drive. And it gives you more what? It allows you to learn certain things from them. So the best way to learn how to focus is being forced to focus. Give a khutbah. Give a class in which you're forced to focus now. You have to. And you can't say, I'm scared or I'm shy. And that's why there's nothing more beneficial for the student of knowledge except to teach and to give back. Because it forces him to sharpen himself. I don't feel like I'm good enough to do the khutbah, but now I have to do the khutbah. So I have to make sure, whether I like it or not, I get on this piece of wood and what? I got to be prepared. Got to have it memorized. Got to have study. Got to have it, whatever the case may be, I'm shot. So you force yourself to do it. Everybody understand this? These are all ways of doing what? Increasing your mental what? Focus. Last but not least are the different books that the people have written of past and of present with regards to strategy. Tons of books on strategy, classic books on strategy. Everybody understand this? Or also some exercises. This is why some people prefer to play what? Chess. Because it forces you to have mental focus and concentration. You have to look at every single square before you touch the piece. Everybody understand this? And most people that are bad at chess is because they're too lazy to pay attention to everything before they move. They're hasty. And someone who's good at chess, there's techniques, there are skills, there are types of tricks of the trade, but the initial step is paying attention and looking at every single square before you move. You must think first what? Before you move. Everybody understand this? This is why somebody said he recommended for chess to be a means of the curriculum in urban city high schools. Get rid of basketball, get rid of this, make them play chess. And perhaps it will carry on into their lives outside of the school. Before I sleep with this girl, pregnancy, sexually transmitted infection, this, that. Before I smoke this, before I do this, before I hang out with these delinquents, what is it going to lead to? It forces you to do what? Think and have focus before you make the move. Because once you make the move, you can't what? You can't take it back. You can't take it back. And one false piece, one false move could get you into what? Checkmate. And the game is over. Everybody understand this? So these are all different ways of increasing the mental focus. Reading different sources, as they say, the specialists, they say, the different books that you read, it increases in your comprehension. But reading comprehension and reading ability does not necessarily mean mental focus. It's a part of it, but it's not what? Aywa. And last but not least is sticking to your what? Your sensei. Sticking to your teacher. And studying with your teacher, debating with your teacher, reading to your teacher. And allow him to guide you and give you the necessary steps in developing yourself as a thinker, as a talib ilm, as a speaker, as a Muslim living in 2017. Everybody needs what? Focus. That's why we say, Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Guide us to the straight path. You drive, you need what? Focus. Got to pay attention to stay straight. And when you get a little tired, you start to sway a little bit from the path. Wallahu ta'ala alam. That's in brief. That's a whole lecture in itself. Fadl.
Assalamu alaikum, AA from New York. Are we able to honor free coupon gifts from companies that send offers at the time of our birthday?
Bismillah. Question says, are we able to honor free coupon gifts from companies that send them at the time of our birthday? You can take your drink back. Says caffeine. Goes, oh man, all types of stuff in this. Barakallahu lak fi. I mean, it says in the bottom, not recommended for individuals under 18 years of age, pregnant or nursing women, or those sensitive to caffeine. Daily caffeine consumption should be limited to approximately 400 milligrams per day from all sources. This product has 160 milligrams per package. Too much caffeine may cause nervousness, irritability, sleeplessness, and occasionally rapid heartbeat. So yeah, khairan inshallah. Somebody gives you a gift. Basically, they give you a gift, a coupon to buy something for your birthday. First and foremost is the ruling on celebrating birthdays in Al-Islam. Is it permissible for a person to celebrate a birthday in Al-Islam? That's an issue in itself, okay? Which we don't have the time to discuss that and really get, down and dirty, as they say. Is it haram or not to celebrate a birthday in Islam? Everybody clear on this? Secondly is you receiving a gift for a holiday that you don't celebrate. Everybody clear on this? Let's say that you say the birthday is haram. Or I don't say the birthday is haram, but I don't celebrate it. Okay? And then a mushrik, a kafir, someone who isn't a Muslim, they give you a gift on that holiday. Is it necessarily haram to accept a gift from someone for a holiday that you yourself don't what? I don't celebrate. When you read the athar of some of the Sahaba, you'll find all types of things in which the non-Muslims that lived in the Islamic state, that lived as Ahlul Dhimma, some of them people, they may have given gifts to the Sahaba on their festive days. Did the Sahaba take those gifts? Or did they say, no, we can't take them, we reject them, throw them out? The answer to the question is going to lie in those athar, as was explained in detail by Shaykh al-Islam, Ibn Taymiyyah, and many others. So it depends on the gift. If you don't feel comfortable with it, then leave it alone. As the Prophet has told us, to leave off things that are what? Doubtful. Avoid that which is doubtful. However, if you don't feel that it's haram, and you read those statements and those actions of those Sahaba that may have accepted some of those things from the mushrikeen for their holidays, it's a different story. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Perhaps at worst, a person can take the coupon, buy whatever or spend it and give it out in the general benefit of the Muslims. The general what? Benefit of Muslims instead of the money just going to waste. Everybody understand this? If I work for Amtrak and my boss gives me a Christmas bonus, says, Happy Christmas, Muhammad. Everybody understand this? I don't celebrate Christmas. I'm not a Christian. It's an extra envelope, an extra week's pay. What am I to do? Reject the money? Turn it away? Wallahu alam. Fadl Khalid.
How should you line up the rows for salah? Should it start from the right or should it start from the left or behind the imam?
Bi'idhnillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala, if a person started from behind the imam, perhaps that's best. And then from the one who's behind the imam, from the right side, if it's easy to do that. Then from the left. It doesn't necessarily mean that a person, especially if it's a very long masjid, which is very rectangular shaped musalla area, and which is 50 people on the right and everybody's missing on the left. Does the Prophet ﷺ instruct us to do this? Or did he tell us about the virtue of the right side? Did the Sahaba look for the right side? Is the hadith about the right side? That's a discussion in itself. Everybody understand this? The malaika sending prayers upon those who do what? Yutimuna sufuf, who complete the rows. The right side, a different story. But we have athar that the Sahaba used to. Kanu yataharrawn. They would seek and look for the right side of the saf. That's the هذه عمدة الباب. هذه عمدة الباب. الآثار الواردة عن الصحابة. هذه هي الأمدة. الحديث المرفوعة تلك إيش؟ مسألة. Everybody understand this? So بإذن الله what's easy and what's simple from behind the imam, if you have the ability to get on the right without having a severe imbalance on the left side, la bas. But the row should be completed in general. And it shouldn't be a gross imbalance. 10 people here on the right and the whole left side is just totally absent. Wallahu alam. Fadal Yusuf.
Can I ask a question about marriage?
Fadal.
Okay, what's the ruling regarding being in a multiple marriage situation? You have your wives staying under the same roof or sleeping in the same bed with one wife as the other.
As far as having them in the same house, ta'ala, It's nothing wrong with that with two conditions. The first condition is that they're pleased with this. They're okay with it. They're all right with it. Big house, a small house, they say we're all right with it. Why live in different houses, different apartments? It's New York City. It's very expensive. The rent in Brooklyn, so on and so on and so forth. And they say we're happy with staying in the same house. They're pleased with it. And it's not you forcing them to do that. If she says, I want my own apartment, different story. I want my own house. If you cannot provide me with my own roof, I don't want to be in this polygamous relationship. And secondly is they should have their own individual bedroom chamber. They should have their own individual what? Room that they sleep in. Kitchen, different story. Shared bathroom, perhaps it's a different story, even though it's best to have more than one bathroom. But where you sleep with them, your intimate bedroom should be totally what? Separated. A door, the curtain, however your lifestyle is. Now, you have to pay close attention. Now, last but not least is the concept of the bed. They should not be in the same bed at any instance whatsoever, period. Rather, it is ill-advised for a co-wife to be in the bedroom of her co-wife, period. Even if you're not there, they're just sitting there talking. This is my own personal quarters. That's it. We sit in the living room, drink tea, have biscuits, talk, be sisterly, co-wives in Islam, alhamdulillah. Help out with the children, the laundry. Everybody understand this? That's one thing. But the innermost thing should remain relatively what? Secret. Wallahu a'lam, to the best of the ability. Now, a few things we have to discuss. And that is how the Prophet ﷺ lived. And how we live. When the Prophet ﷺ, he says, buyut, he had houses. The hujurat, chambers. Some of our homes, one house, may be the entire living space of the Prophet and all 9 of his wives. It's a reality. Everybody understand this? It's a reality. Some of this musalla perhaps right here may be the size, Allah alam, of how many Sahaba, how they used to live back in the day. The simplicity of the Prophet's lifestyle. Everybody understand this? For a person to say, no, she has to have her own house, she has to have her own, you can't necessarily what? Say that, especially if she's okay with it. That's first and foremost. Secondly is the concept of sacrifice. People, they say, well, polygamy is totally, impossible in 2017. It's too expensive. A car note, insurance, cable, Netflix, and this, that. You got to pay for the cable, ESPN, so on and so forth, food, cat food, this, that. It's a million things you got to buy. How can I'm barely struggling with what? One wife, let alone another wife. Everybody understand this? Rather, my wife, she works and she pays the bills. She contributes to the gas, the electric. She pays for the fish food, the fish container, the turtle tank. Everybody understand this? And she brings things to the table. I take care of most of the bills. So how can I have a second wife? We say, what type of lifestyle do you live? And what's more important than you? You having a second wife, helping out yourself, helping out the sister, implementing the sunnah, keeping your gaze low, keeping your private parts chaste, or having the turtle tank and 50 pairs of shoes and this satellite connection for unlimited movies and this and that and kether and kether and kether and kether. So when you honestly, earnestly sit down and make a checklist of all your expenses that you have in a month, if you slash some of them, I'm sure you will have free or extra what? No doubt about that. Or you can have a bigger living space or another house. The things that you have in one house or one apartment could be equal to 2 or 3 that are unnecessary in contrast to other things that may be necessary. You may have a problem in which you need another wife. Or there may be a sister who needs to be married, needs to be taken care of, and you're a good match for her. She's a good match for you. But you say, I can't what? I can't afford it because it's too expensive. Is it too expensive, or you have things, you spend things that aren't necessarily what? Necessary. All right, we're clear with this? So this is a very important concept here. And that doesn't mean that Islam says that you have to live in a shack. Just because you have a house, you have to furnish a house. This is all from the custom of the people. Carpet. You have to have a refrigerator, not just a small ice box. That's uncustomary. No one is going to really accept that unless somebody is really like, zahid. If that's not the case, you have a what? Refrigerator. Everybody understand this? A freezer. Certain things like this. A toaster oven, or if you say a microwave. We don't get into, cancer and this and that. Al-Muhim. It's things that come with the what? The furnishing on the house. You buy clothes for your wife. It's not just a garment up top, bottom, and that's it. She has clothes, she has shoes, she has pajamas, she has lingerie, she has kether, she has kether, she has kether. All of these things are expected according to the natural standard of living. Everybody clear on this? However, there are certain things that are unnecessary. There are certain things which clearly suck and take from your money machine that prevent you from doing what? Other things, such as making hajj, making umrah, going to seek knowledge, going to study, taking on a second wife or third wife, and etc. So you have to sit down and figure out what's most important, what? To you. Me having a second wife or these other luxuries and things that I don't need. Everybody clear on this? So therefore, bid'nillahi ta'ala, I will consider this to be a rarity. I've come across situations, people have contacted me, but in general, it's a rarity. Yani, most women today, and this is the haqq, yani, most Muslim women today don't want polygamy. They don't want to be in polygamy. Some of them say it's not obligatory, it's not mandatory. Some of them may say, no, that's specific to the Prophet. It was only talking about orphan women. You have some sisters, and this is a truth. They say that polygamy only applies to marrying a woman who's a widow. Only applies to marrying a woman who's missing a leg or a finger, who's sick, who has a disease. Wallahi. It only applies to a woman who's old, who's 45, 50, 60 years old. Then you can take on a second wife. It only applies if the first wife cannot get pregnant. It only applies if the first wife is sick. As far as you going to marry a woman that's younger or my age, that looks as good as me or better or this, they say, no, that doesn't apply. No, Islam is not a religion of your lust. You can't just marry just for sex. You have to marry only for what? The benefit of another woman. And there are other people who have the concept, men, that you can just do whatever you want to do. That polygamy is like a brothel system. Marry, divorce, this and that, and you just don't take care of them, don't teach them. They're all different misunderstandings of what? Polygamy today. And there are only a few people who have the proper understanding of it, the balance, and there are only a few people who have the necessary courage to implement it. Radiya man radiya, kariha man kariha. Whoever likes it, likes. Whoever dislikes it, what? Dislikes it. And Allah clearly mentions this in the Quran. Even if the mushrikun, what? Hate it. Even if the kafirun, what? Even if they hate it. Everybody understand this? So therefore, the concept of polygamy in Islam has to be understood properly, in the proper light. And then it has to be implemented and executed, what? Properly in the proper light. When these things are done, it will reap and bring forth all types of fruits for the husband, for the wife, for the co-wife, for the son, the daughter, the stepson. There's no doubt about that. Everybody understands it's going to flourish. It's going to what? It's going to flourish. So therefore, you have to figure out how you want to what? How you want to live. So therefore, a sister who is willing to be a co-wife, who is willing to have another wife in her marriage, bid'nillahi ta'ala, if she wants to live under the same roof, that's one thing. If she wants to have her own place, her own apartment, then that's something that you have to what? You have to provide. Everybody clear on this? And you have to look at what's going to be a benefit for you and for her. Some women, it advised for them to live in the same roof. They'll fight. They'll argue. Everybody understand this? And there's some women that are what? That can do that. Everybody understand this? Allahu A'lam. Fadal.
J.I. from Dearborn, Michigan. Assalamu alaikum, sir. Is vape or e-cigarettes haram or halal? Can I sell e-cigarettes and is the earnings of it halal?
Tight. First and foremost, we don't advise you to use e-cigarettes, any type of vaporizing thing, sell them, buy them, or eat from them, period. Is it haram? We say that these cigarettes being haram is a branch of original cigarettes being haram. Is it permissible and impermissible to smoke a cigarette? And smoking a cigarette is a branch of another issue, and that is the concept of smoking tobacco. There lies no doubt smoking tobacco is not like smoking a cigarette. Smoking a cigar is not like smoking a what? A cigarette. A cigarette is like processed meat. Everybody understand this? It's like lunch meat. It's full of all types of things in it. It's rolled and burnt and this and that into that final product. There lies no doubt. Processed meat is not like a piece of what? Steak. Chicken breast is not the same. A chicken nugget is not what? Not saying as a natural. The tobacco leaf, smoking a tobacco leaf. This is a reality. Does it cause harm to the body or not? Does it cause cancer or not? Everybody understand this? This is a reality. The smell of a cigar is not like the smell of a what? Cigarette. Secondhand smoke, and the list goes on. Everybody clear on this? So therefore, we have a lineage here, and it's not. The e-cigarette coming from the what? The modern processed cigarette coming from the concept of tobacco. So those ulama who say that cigarettes are totally haram, they're filthy, they're dirty, spiritually, physically impure, they're a waste of money, they cause a major addiction. And they say that haram, first and foremost, is because it causes bodily harm. Cancer of the lung, cancer of the tongue, cancer of the throat, and the list goes on. They say it's a waste of money. It is a means of addiction in which you become a slave of the cigarette. It is a means of harming the angels, the bad, horrible smell, harming the human beings. It's a mean of secondhand smoke, harming people, harming pets, harming kids. Everybody understand this? And then some people, they may say, no, it's not haram to smoke a cigarette. It's just makruh. It's only disliked. Because there are other things that we eat and we drink on a daily basis that may cause the same amount of harm, if not more, such as sugar, not even the sugar, some say honey, rice, all types of stuff. Things that you eat and that you drink, they say cause diabetes, causes cancer, causes this, causes your liver to fail, causes that, and the list goes on. So now you're going to stick your argument now. Somebody says that sugar does just as much damage as alcohol, if not more. Everybody understand this? It kills your body worse than what a cigarette will do. And I've been smoking cigarettes my entire life. This 90-year-old, this great athlete, this Olympic runner, is a notorious cigarette smoker. And he won the gold medal running. This is a reality. But this person who's 30 years old is diabetic. This person who's 40 years old is what? Everybody understand this? So that's a long issue in itself. We don't advise anyone to smoke a cigarette or cigar, anything like this. As far as the e-cigarette, does it have the same effect as the original cigarette? Is the vapor like the smoke? Everybody understand this? That's a discussion in itself. We don't advise anyone to use it. We don't advise anyone to sell it, except for one situation. And that situation is when a person is extremely addicted to cigarettes, to smoking, and this is the best or the easiest way in which they can wean themselves off of those cigarettes, which has been proven. Everybody understand this? That's one issue in which perhaps a person could what? Or use the vapor, not smoke. Not what? Yeah, that's the whole concept of smoke. And that's the whole argument. They say it's vaporized. So it's not going into the what? The lungs, the lips, the tongue, and so on and so forth. It doesn't cause intoxication. It doesn't hurt my body. If it doesn't have a bad smell, what makes it? Haram. Somebody could say this, but we don't advise with that at all. Wallahu alam. There are many other things in which you could sell and which you could trade with that are pure, that are better, that are clearer. Avoid that. Wallahu alam. Fadal.
Can you shed some light on protest?
Can we shed light on protests? Something we've been asked about many times and we've spoken about many times. Protests is like cigarettes. It's similar to cigarettes. If the cigarette causes a harm, that's one ruling. The protest causes clear harm, that's what? One thing. The vapor that doesn't cause the harm, the protest that doesn't cause harm, different story. Protest in a Muslim country or an Islamic country or a Middle Eastern country, and which is against the rules to protest, is not like a protest in America or in a Western country in which the protests are allowed, rather they actually encourage the people to speak out, do what they want to do. So it has to be what? It has to be a detail. So why would somebody say that a protest is haram? They may say, first and foremost, they say لأنه يعني نوع من الخروج عن ولاة الأمر أو يعني ولاة الأمور. They say it is a way of going against and rebelling against the what? The Muslim ruler. That's a long discussion in itself. Is this country an Islamic country? Is the Sharia the constitutional country? We don't want to ندخل في هذه المشاكل الآن. Okay, these problems. But in America, nobody with any sense, or in Britain, is going to say that this king or this queen or this chancellor or prime minister is a what? Hakam Shar'i. Is a legitimate ruler. Everybody understand this? So that's many people, they mix the things up. Going against the Islamic ruler is not like you protesting in a country in which there's no Islamic ruler. So what they say is protests are halal or haram. What we do not support, we mentioned this many times in this masjid, is not to do what? Jumble things together. It's the what? Jumble things together. You can't take a ruling that applies to a Muslim land and then say it applies to the what? Non-Muslim land. Because it's not a Muslim land. And everybody understands this, let alone the fact that is it even haram to protest in a Muslim land? That's a long issue of ijtihad, in which some of the modern day scholars say it's haram, you can't do it. And other ulama say the exact opposite. They say you can do it and you may have to do it, in which the Muslims who wish or have some type of religion with them have to stand up and speak out for what they see as an injustice. And if they sit back and if they take a passive and complacent approach, then things will be banned. And then no one can pray, no one can wear hijab, no one can get off, These books, Ibn Taymiyyah, Ibn Qayyim, destroy them, burn them, and then you're in the corner now. So it's a very, very, very long discussion. What's important is that you live in America. There are certain things that apply here in America that do not apply overseas. Certain things that apply overseas do not apply what? In America. And there are certain things in which there's what? United. Ruling is the ruling. Men and women mixing, touching, hugging, that's one thing. Destruction of property, that's one thing. Causing chaos, that's what? That's one thing. Throwing yourself in front of harm's way, that's what? That's one thing. That's what? That's one thing. Everybody clear on this? Here, east, west, it's all the same. You're being reckless with yourself. A protest in which this isn't the case may vary from Middle East to UK. Allahu Alam. This is a very long discussion. We've spoken this many times before. We asked this question many times before. What's important is that if you say the protest is haram, there's nothing wrong with that. Make sure that you have the naql and the aql. Make sure you have the text and you have the logic. What you're saying is rational, it's logical. You're making sense. Everybody understand this? What you affirm in one place, make sure you affirm in what? In another place. And if you say that protest is permissible, that's fine. If that's what you feel, make sure that you base it off of the text and what? The logic that's making sense in what you're saying. Everybody understand this? Wallahu alam. Fadlan.
Yusuf from London. Can the Sheikh speak about the specific topics that students in the Kuliya of Hadith learn? What specific ones?
Question says, the specific topics in the College of Hadith that the students learn. In the Islamic University of Medina, we have subjects that everybody studies, and then we have subjects that are specific to the faculties in the colleges. So an example of a subject that all students study, the College of Sharia, the College of the Quran al-Kareem, the College of Al-Lugha al-Arabiya, the College of Usul al-Din, Kulliyat al-Da'wa wa Usul al-Din, and the College of Al-Hadith al-Sharif, tafsir. All students have to study tafsir. There's a certain amount of times that you take tafsir, whether it's from one book or whether it's from the tahdir, the preparation of the teacher, but it's on a specific collegiate level. And then we have mathalan at-tawheed. Every student at all these different colleges studies these things. Then we have, for example, as-sirah, the process of sirah. Every student has to study these things on a specific level, whether it's from a specific book or not. Then we have nahu, sarf. Everybody understand this? Al-fiqh, comparative fiqh. Everybody understand this? وهكذا. As far as the specific topics, then from those that are specific to the College of Hadith, first and foremost is Tadween al-Sunnah. Tadween al-Sunnah, the compilation of the Sunnah. From them is that which is called Fiqh al-Hadith. Fiqh al-Hadith. Whether you study a specific book, Nail al-Awtar, al-Muharrar, whatever the case may be. Fiqh al-Hadith. Another example is, this is not specific to the College of Hadith. Al-Mustalah is studied in other colleges as well. Obviously in Kulliyat al-Hadith you're going to take more. Everybody understand this? And there are other subjects that these students of Hadith take that are specific what? To them, depending on what semester you're in. The first semester, second, all the way up to the 8th and final semester. You take different subjects, Mekana to Sunnah, Al-Ruwat, and the list goes on, of the specific topics of the what? The College of Hadith. And other colleges who study certain things from Hadith, but not like how they study in Hadith, and vice versa. You have study fiqh, you study usul al-fiqh, but not like how the College of Sharia studies usul al-fiqh. There's going to be more detail, more hands-on, and the list goes on. So these are some of the main topics that you study. Number one, we said Tadween al-Sunnah. Then we said Fiqh al-Hadith. We said Al-Ruwat, Al-Jarh wa Ta'dil, Al-Mustalah, Makanat al-Sunnah. Also from the specific topics of Kulliyat al-Hadith. Let's see. These are the main ones right here. Okay? These are the main ones what? The main ones right here. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Faddal.
Shahid Ahmed, Assalamu alaikum Mufti, I live in NYC. I would like to learn tafsir from a scholar in person and become hafiz of Quran, inshallah. Do you know of any reliable, knowledgeable scholars I can go to?
In New York City? I don't know of anyone. That doesn't mean they don't exist. I just don't know of anybody who specializes and studies and focuses on tafsir in New York City. I only know a little bit. Allahu alam. If you want to study tafsir with a scholar in person and become a hafiz, go overseas. Travel to South Africa. Wallahu alam. Faddal.
Assalamu alaikum, AC from New Jersey. Is smoking hookah haram?
Question says, is smoking hookah haram? I had a personal friend once who used to smoke hookah. I won't say his name. He says smoking hookah in one sitting is like smoking 10 packs of cigarettes. That's true. I thought I have confirmation. So therefore, if cigarettes are haram, then the hookah is going to be even more haram. If cigarettes are makruh, then the hookah is going to be even more makruh. Everybody understand this? It's just that simple. Allah Azza wa Jalla clearly mentioned that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his job was to وَيُحِلُّ لَهُمُ الطَّيِّبَاتِ, to make the tayyibat, the lawful things, permissible for them. Drinks and foods that are good and wholesome. وَيُحَرِّمُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْخَبَائِثِ, and he made the filthy, foul, wicked things unlawful for his followers. So that what you drink, that what you smoke, that what you inject, that's foul, that's khabith, it's totally haram in al-Islam. Everybody understand this? Let alone, even going deeper than that, the concept of the hookah is, what is the result of the hookah? Who are you going to be sitting with in a hookah bar, hookah lounge? I said, what? Cairo hookah. What's the name of the place? Steinway?
Yeah.
There's a few of them. Firdaus. Or? We don't want to make no advertisement for them in here, but we're just making an example. When you go into this hookah lounge exam, who are you going to be sitting with? Somebody that's talking about Islam, Allah, His Rasul. He's going to remind you it's time to make salah. Put down the hookah hose. It's time to pray. Rather, I saw once, this is a reality, it was a hookah lounge. It may have been Firdaus, the place you're talking about. It had an advertisement. It says free, it says $5 iftar and suhoor with the hookah.
Wow, it's small.
You see what I'm saying to you? So let's just stop and let's get away from the concept of the cigarettes and of the hookah. Who do you hang around when you smoke? What does it lead to? It's very important. Drinking tea is one thing. Drinking coffee is one thing. When you drink, you just have a little bit of alcohol, not a lot. Who you want to hang around? What speech is being passed around at the bar? Everybody understand this? So hookah, you're sitting around Muslims. Okay, they're all Muslims. Let's say, what type of Muslims? What gathering are you going to be sitting in? This is very critical to think about. Very critical to think about is what it leads to, And the Prophet, he clearly told us about the ironsmith, the blacksmith. He's either going to what? Burn your clothes, or you're going to smell the horrible smell of molten iron and sulfur in the forge. Something that you don't want that, the forge, You don't want that. Wallahu alam. Fadal.
Assalamu alaikum, AA from New York. Can you recommend some books on the lives of the prophets?
Recommend some books on the lives of the prophets. Al-Quran al-Kareem. The best book on the lives of the prophets. And reading the tafsir of all of those ayat that talk about Ayub and Yunus and Yaqub and Ishaq, Ibrahim, Musa, Isa, Nuh, and the list goes on. Read what Ibn Kathir rahimahullah quotes of what the Prophet said about them, and also the narrations of the previous generations, as we've explained before. Ibn Kathir's book is a very important work. Obviously, that's a long, detailed discussion about that book, Qasas al-Anbiya, because he's quoting from those previous Israeliyat narrations. Wallahu alam. We'll stop here, whereas we've run out of time. Jazakumullahu khairan for your attention, for your respect. May Allah give you the reward and the fa'idah.